Hello everyone, I am so thrilled that you're here for this Ulta haul video. I've got a really diverse selection of things in here. Actually, several of the products that were in my video, like my throwback video where I repurchased a bunch of older products that I first started out my makeup life with. Some of those things came from Ulta, but I'm not going to rehash them because you already really saw those a lot in that video with the application and all. But yeah, I would say this video is mostly new stuff. I've got the hair very sleek and straight today, so I feel like it's going to be a real temptation to get it out of my eyes. I don't know. It might end up in a bun by the end of this. First things first, I got this number 7 Airbrush Away foundation. And I had seen this strolling through the aisles of Target time after time, and I just kind of kept passing it up. But then, you know, Ulta's website worked whatever magic Ulta's website tends to work on me, and I got it. And I got it in the shade Cool Beige, and it actually is a really good shade match for me. I'm wearing it today. This is kind of what I expected that Makeup Forever Water Blend foundation to be like, because it is so thin and liquidy, but this seems a little more concentrated. It seems like there's a little more coverage. It has kind of a velvety finish on the skin. It doesn't look unnatural, but it really doesn't look that glowy either. But it says flawless and smooth looking skin in every light. Create your perfect complexion with this incredibly light feeling foundation. And it says clever optical blurring powders give a velvet yet radiant finish, like your complexion has been placed into soft focus. So I can kind of see where they're coming from with that. It's not like it's liquid to powder necessarily, but it just has a softness to it that it develops on the skin. And I used a Sigma F80 brush to blend it in because I think sometimes really thin foundations work very well with a dense brush, especially if you're trying to build up some coverage. But I found, but basically really good coverage out of this product. Surprisingly good for as thin as it is. Probably one of the best, ultra thin. I mean, look at it just drip from the little dropper there. Drip, drip, drop. It's really light. I think it's kind of buildable to an extent. I wouldn't say it's full coverage, but maybe medium to full would be a good way to describe it, because I think you can add a little more over certain areas and get a little bit fuller look. But it will be interesting to see how this wears, because this is my first day trying it, so this is a haul video, you know. I will certainly keep you in the loop on this. I was just really drawn to it, and so far so good. Another foundation I got is from the Kardashian Beauty line. It looked like this line, which is kind of, you know, on the drugstore side of Ulta's selection. It looks like they came out with a few new things, including a foundation and a palette that I also got. But this says No Apologies Liquid Makeup. I got it in natural beige. It has a little pump right there. I was just kind of playing with this on my hand the other day because I have not worn it yet. It's not fully matte. It seems to catch the light a bit. I'm guessing kind of a medium coverage on that as well. But I'm thinking I will show more of that in a future video, as well as this. They had several different color options in this No Apologies face kit. I chose the one in Slay It because, you know, I'm always talking about slaying things, right? Not so much, but okay, here's the colors. You've got a blush and a highlight, and then a quad of shadows here and a quad of shadows over here. And what I didn't realize until I got this thing is that you see these little semicircles on the back? You can actually pop each of these chunks of product out. So I don't really have anything else to put in here right now because this is the only palette I have, but if you were buying multiples, you could kind of switch them out and make them exactly how you wanted them to be. See, I just popped that highlight out. Very easy. So I'm going to show you some swatches here, and I gotta say I was pretty dang surprised by the color payoff with the shadows. Particularly, I mean, the blush and the highlight. That highlight practically feels like it's a cream. You know, it's got a really different texture when you put your finger into it. As far as the shadows, I can identify one that's 100% matte, and it's the shade that's kind of blending into my skin tone right there. It's this kind of beigey shade, but I must say the whole reason why I chose this palette over the others was the green. That green just really looked pretty, and it seems to swatch pretty well also. Kind of a metallic olive, but not too brownish. You know, it's still got some punch in there. And then I like that quad pulls in the dark plum as well, and the blues are no slouch either. I mean, they all have this kind of creamy smoothness. Some shades are more shimmery than others. It seems like some have little flecks of sparkle in them. But how do they apply? I don't know yet, so that will really tell the tale, I think. But it's like a $16.99 $9.99 palette, so it's really walking the line from being a total, I think, drugstore price range. So if you're interested, I may work those into a little demo or tutorial coming up. Now the other palette that I got is Tarte's new release, and it is a collaboration. It says styled by Harush, and Harush is here on the back. And she's looking very glam and beautiful, but she's a makeup artist, says she's self-taught, and has gotten her name out there to an impressive celebrity following, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the people who she did makeup for is Kylie Jenner, so I think that may have helped get her name out there a little bit more. I hope I'm thinking of the right person here. I got an email on this. It was the Ulta, like, platinum perk, early access type thing, and I think that was ultimately what kind of like got in there, and I was like, oh, maybe I want to get this early. Maybe I want to see what this is all about. And it really does look like a pretty palette. And I've kind of steered clear from some of Tarte's palettes lately just because I feel like their shadow palettes, they always kind of put the same color selection in there. So once you've got a couple of Tarte shadow palettes, it's like they always have those browns, maybe a berry or purplish color. And it's not that I don't like those shades, but how much of it do I actually need? I just love if they'd go out into just maybe a little different color scheme for one of these palettes, right? Like something maybe into the olive range or something slightly different. But for whatever reason, this one just really caught my eye. I thought the blush looked good, and I thought, let's just try it out, you know? Plus I've got this early access and I feel special. So I bought it, I got it. It's really hard to hold it because that metallic gold packaging really catches the light, but it is a very pretty palette. It's got this like maybe a python type print on the front, which is really gorgeous. So here are my swatches. I've got the blush real big over here and then all of the shadows, and the top three, you know, have a lot of metallic shine to them, and they're really soft. They're very, very pigmented. And then your bottom ones are all matte, and you've got kind of a peachy mix of peach and brown sort of in that shade. A nice rich brown that's deep but not too deep, and then a medium kind of taupey shade. The mattes are very powdery, so don't get too excited, you know, when you stick your brush into them, because a lot of powder will get kicked up. But all in all, I do think the quality of Tarte's shadows in terms of pigmentation and just the way they apply very nice and evenly. I think they're as good as they've ever been. You know, I've seen Tarte go through a lot of changes going back to, you know, holiday collections of years past. The shadow texture has certainly become richer, softer, smoother, and I do find this color selection to be a really nice, like, summer into fall type transition palette. So what I'm wearing today, I've got this reddish shade all over my lid. I'll say it's a little bit more berry than I expected. I think in the email, in the picture I saw, it looked much more like a straight up red, but it seems to apply a little bit more like a burgundy berry, which is fine, but that's what I've got all over my lid. I've got Pinch and Kitty in the crease. Bliss, this color right here, is my highlight under the brow and around the inner corner, and then I smudged both of these shades for a really, really dark and smoky lower lash line. So I like how the palette can achieve depth and darkness, but at the same time, you're not getting like world's deepest, darkest brown or even a black in here. I'm sorry, my hair has changed like a zillion times. It's behind my ear, it's off my ear. I can't handle it. But the blush, I'm wearing that as well. Really, really happy with a nice pigmented matte blush. I thought it went on evenly, looks really pretty, definitely pairs nicely with the color selection. So yes, I'm happy with the palette, but if you got a big stash of makeup, it's like, did my collection really call for this? Did I really need these kinds of shades that I already have several times over? Probably not. I'm just gonna be honest with myself there. But as I was glancing at this, it actually does kind of remind me of some of the things that are happening in my Lorac Pro 3. It's definitely not identical, but it's just, I don't know. When it occurs to me that something might be similar, I like to point that out. And while we're talking about what's on my face today, let's move on to lips. I am wearing a matte liquid lipstick today, which I haven't really been into wearing a lot of these lately, but I got this Bare Minerals Meet Gen Nude Duo. I think it was around 15 bucks to get one of their matte liquid lip colors and their buttercream glosses. So Bare Minerals has launched this whole like big selection, different different formats, different formulas of nude lip colors. I've had some questions about these, so I thought this would be a perfect way just to sample, and then if I'm interested, you know, I can dig in more. But I'm wearing the matte liquid lipstick in the shade Boss. So it's this pretty like brownish kind of deep neutral, and I really love the way this feels. It went on, I thought, very thin, but it didn't have that intense dry down that some of these liquid lipsticks have. That being said, it's not transfer resistant either. You know, I can easily rub off a little color onto my finger, but it just has a lightness to it, and my lips don't feel extremely dry and parched. But still, you're getting a fully matte effect, and it's one of the few matte lip products where I feel like I can get a good close look at my lips and I'm not totally seeing lines galore. You know, it actually looks like, okay, I've got pretty smooth lips and they just happen to be matte today. So I'm very happy with that. I like the color, I like the texture. What I'm really excited to get a look at is how is it going to wear? Is it going to wear off in a dry, patchy way? Am I going to continue to feel this sense of moisture on my lips even though it's a matte lip color? That remains to be seen for me, but I'm really pleased with that. And then before I put this on, I was playing around. I couldn't decide which I wanted to wear for the video, the gloss or the matte, but this is the gloss in the shade Sugar. So it's really just a nice classic nude gloss with a little bit of pink in that shade. I found it to have a nice bit of thickness to it, but not quite as thick and sticky as the Marvelous Moxie lip products, which I like those too. Those have that kind of minty vibe, and they're kind of thick. They actually wear a decently long time, but this, I gotta say, feels really comfortable, little bit thinner, and just a really pretty shade to get to sample. Another new lip product I got was another one of these color jolts from Maybelline. I'm pretty sure this was the shade Erica Jones was talking about in her favorites video, but it's Violet Rebel, and I already had like a light pink color in this line and the reddish orange shade, and I really, really like these. I think the color payoff is pretty intense. I like the applicator, which is kind of one of those where the product squeezes up through. Yep, I really love this kind of color. I mean, it's purpley, but yet it's got, I don't know if you can see where it's sheared out just a little bit. There's a pinkiness underneath, and when I was wearing this the other day, I felt like once the highly shiny purpley gloss wore off, I was kind of left with this pinkish purple type stain almost on my lips. It has kind of a light fruity scent to it. And by the way, a scented thing that I didn't really mention before, Tarte's shadows anymore are smelling really sweet. They're almost kind of reminding me of like a Too Faced chocolate bar type scent, just FYI. Something else I picked up from the drugstore side was this Palladio rice powder. And I was in that mode of like, what's old is new again type things. You know, there were certain things on my list that I wanted for that video. And then this thing I just randomly picked up. I'd never tried this, but I'd seen this over and over again in Ulta, in Sally Beauty Supply. I've used the rice like blotting papers, but I thought, let's go ahead and try the loose powder. And it's the translucent shade, just opens like that, this little square box here. And I did wear this to set my under eye today, and so far so good. I mean, it immediately looked very even, very mattified. We'll see how it wears throughout the day, because just like in between my fingers, it feels like a super dry powder. You know, it just has that kind of like not much of a cling to the skin. It just feels very dry. Hey, you don't know till you try, so I'll see how that wears today. And then I also have gotten this Laura Geller Spackle Mist, and I actually got this well before a lot of this other stuff. And it says prime, set, refresh, always out to try a new setting spray. And this one I feel like does not make my skin look very dewy at all. I have sprayed a lot of this on my skin at different times, and I think, wow, I still come away looking pretty matte. So if you're not wanting a lot of additional like glow or dewiness from your setting spray, maybe that's a good option. But the thing that ticks me off about this is like, I spray the pump, okay? And you know how some people are just like, psh, 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 psh. You spray your setting spray fairly quickly. You're not really thinking about your finger on the pump. If it doesn't get pressed all the way down, you just have like leakage just seeping from the little sprayer, you know? And it's a little more effort to press down. I don't know how to explain it, but my hard candy one, I don't even think about it. I'm just bam, 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 and it's done. And there's nothing leaky, there's nothing weird. This one, I feel like I have to make a conscious effort to think, okay, did the sprayer go all the way down and now all the way back up? Okay, now can I spray again? It's just sort of strange. That's called Spackle Mist. It gets its name from Laura Geller's line of primers that are known as Spackle. So I don't love this over what I'm already using, which is a lot cheaper, and that is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Primer Mist. The last few things that I have here are kind of body or hair related, and I got this new shampoo. It's from Shea Moisture. Fruit Fusion Coconut Water Weightless Shampoo. Lightweight hydration for fine, wavy, curly hair. And my hair would come into the fine department. I don't know if they mean your hair needs to be fine, wavy, and curly, or just one of the three. But I have fine hair, and this has been doing great things. I've been doing this, and then my conditioner has been the Moisture Renewal from Pantene. Great combo. I feel like this gets my hair so super clean. It suds up a ton, and it does not feel weighed down in the least. It doesn't start feeling dirty and oily as soon as with other products I've used, and the scent, you know it's all about the scent too. Fruity, clean, just so fresh, like a fresh fruit salad or something. I mean, I am so excited about this one. This might be one of the best finds of the whole haul. And then another thing that I was really drawn to scent-wise, these Hemp's lotions. Okay, there's a big selection of this line in my Ulta store, and I've had this kind of lotion before. I've actually got a big one of the original scent, which I think kind of reminds me of bananas, so I love that. And then there's a scent called watermelon and something, and that one's really good too. But then, you know, Erica Jones had to go talking about this sweet pineapple and honey melon, and I'm thinking, yeah, I would probably really love that. So I smelled it, and then I started smelling all the others. I couldn't decide. Instead of getting one big one, I got like 3 small ones. So I did get the sweet pineapple and honey melon, and that is just a mamacita. It is so good. It is the immediate scent of fresh, real pineapple. If that's not a summer scent, I don't know what is. It is probably the sweetest one that I got. And then I had to go for the white peach rosé and peony. Are you ready for more earth-shattering scent descriptions here? This one, the floral comes at me first. It's soft, it's sweet, there's that little bit of peach. It doesn't quite have that ultra sweet bite that the pineapple has. But I think the most unique scent of all three is this exotic green tea and Asian pear. This one was completely sold out, I think, in the full size. Oh, it's so clean. Really soft, that little bit of sweetness from the pear. This was the first one that I went for, just applying it all over. Oh, and it was so light and fresh, really like uplifting. I don't know what to say. I feel so overly affected by scents these days too because of pregnancy, so everything hits me like, whoa, you know, I either really like it or I really don't. And these are 3 scents that I think are all really good. So to review, you've got the very sweet, fruity with the pineapple. You've got a little more floral coming in, well, a lot more floral with the peach rosé and peony. And then something I think kind of calming, but very fresh, very clean, with the exotic green tea and Asian pear. So moral of this story, I'm going to be lotioned up for a long, long time. Got some of these dual-tipped applicators, you know, with the pointy side and the flat side, just because I didn't have any of those. And at the time, I guess I thought I needed some. And masks. I have been so into masks lately, particularly sheet masks, because they're so easy. You don't even have to spend time like rinsing your face off in the sink. You leave it on, you take it off, you kind of let those serums seep into your skin, sort of rub it all in, and it's like there's your nighttime facial treatment. It's great. So I stumbled across a new brand called Leaders in Solution, and it says Daily Wonders, Too Much Fun in the Sun, and I thought this would be great after a long day outside. Soothing and calming mask. This is going to be a sheet mask, a 15 to 20 minute mask there. And then I got the What Happened Last Night, because you know how us crazy pregnant women are. And this is the Radiance Revitalizing one. Again, 15 to 20 minutes. Any certain claims or ingredients on here? This After Sun one has aloe and olive extracts to calm redness and soothe irritation, so I think that'll be awesome. This other one says a spa in a sheet. That was the phrase that caught me on that. And then it contains ginseng and artemisia extracts to revitalize and soothe the skin. Ultimately, both of these seemed like hydrating masks, and my skin can use all the extra hydration these days, I feel like. And then from the Fremen line, now I think these were also sold in full sizes. This overnight brightening mask was in a tub, and this one was in a tube. But just to try them out, I got the packets. This is the Purifying In Shower Mask with sea kelp and probiotics. Instantly boosts clarity, restores balance, renews skin. So how's that going to work? You're going to apply to dry face and neck before showering, avoiding contact with eyes and hairline, and at the end of showering, massage to exfoliate and rinse. So I'm guessing there's some little scrub scrubbies in this maybe. And this one you're going to apply basically like a night cream before bed. It says this mask absorbs into skin, so there's no need to worry about getting it in your pillow. Use 2 times a week or as often as needed. So this is the hibiscus and vitamin C in the brightening overnight mask. So yay, masks, I'm excited. And that is my haul. That wraps it all up, you guys. Thank you for watching. I know there were a lot of things in here that it was a true haul. A lot of things that were very new to me that you could expect to see more of on my channel. But thank you so much for your time, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.